Welcome to episode 8 of the Irish Fitness Podcast. This episode is brought to you by the Irish Fitness Championships, Ireland's premier individual CrossFit event. So, Shane, we had the Filthy 150 the weekend. How did it go?
Brilliant.
You were up there and you got to soak in the atmosphere.
I got to compete in the box competition, team of 4, with 3 people from this gym as well. They invited every affiliate in Ireland and then some, so you could actually compete yourself if you wanted. I think there was 120 teams. 120 teams
in
total.
Times 4. So you're talking about nearly 500 athletes.
Yeah.
Unreal.
A lot of athletes. Like most people you would have seen up there were just athletes walking around, you know.
Brilliant.
And it started nice and early. Started at 8. I think our heat started at 8:30. I think it started even before us at 8 a.m. And it was all done by 2 o'clock.
Excellent.
And then you had the whole weekend then to watch the individuals, elites, and the teams as well. Yeah. But just the way they ran, just a big shout out to Jamie and Doreen, the way they ran the competition.
Shout out to Jamie and Doreen.
Everything was 20 minutes, as in heats were. Obviously with the time cap and everything. Everyone got 4 workouts. And there's different workouts going on at different times. But there was always a 10-minute gap in between. Okay. Everything get redone. There wasn't no delays like I've seen at most competitions. There's always the delay. I think if you compete in CrossFit before, even once or twice, you know there's going to be a delay.
They obviously had it completely dialed in.
Yeah. Especially the first workout. Everyone's always expecting to go to a competition. You might go up the country somewhere to a competition and it says 9 a.m. start. Yeah. You know you'll probably be on at 10, you know.
I've had that happen a couple of times.
And you know, it's normal. You know, it's hard to be on time when you're running a competition, but this was just done so well. And I think the difference on it was the volunteers did a huge
They had a massive amount of staff.
Loads of people.
I saw the videos and it looked like just dozens and dozens and dozens of people with the staff shirts on and the volunteer shirts and all that kind of
brilliant.
stuff.
And then the programming as well, as you'd be expecting with Jamie, it's just phenomenal the way he was able to program stuff that is separating elite athletes from, or say, a games athlete to someone who's just basically getting into that kind of realm of things. But there was a carryover of movements, which I thought was impressive. Okay. So if there was like something like that, alternating dumbbell thruster, for anyone watching this who's done that, you know, it's a hard movement. That was also in the elites.
Looked very tough, yeah. So the box competition got to sample a little bit of what it was like on the elite floor.
Exactly, and they're all just well-programmed workouts. There's even a bit of barbell stuff in it as well. I think we went through a few of the workouts anyway, but just for the box competition, it was like a worm workout. So you need to work in a team there. There's a barbell workout. There was a rope climb workout, which actually had to be changed last minute. From that
the ropes were very sticky, were they?
Yeah, so the unbroken rope climb was in it. The ropes were absolutely soaked. Obviously, it's
Ireland, folks. It's Ireland.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
If anything, I thought it made it more interesting. Yeah, there was a few elite individual guys who had to do the unbroken ones for rounds with their 400-meter run that were complaining about it. But if you look at someone like Krennikov, he just did it, no problem. So
I think in circumstances like that, like we've had rain in the past in our competition in the IFC. And you just get on with it. It's
just another thing for people to complain about, I suppose. But
it's hard to say. If it's a danger, then it's a different thing. Yeah. But obviously, no one fell off him or no one hurt themselves, did they?
Well, they put a huge, basically like bale of hay under it, which was just like, if you're going to land, you're going to land on that.
Yeah, if you're landing on a bale of hay, that's a kind of a traditional thing to fall into. Yeah. For stuntmen and stuff like that.
So they changed.
If everyone is climbing the same ropes. Yeah. And if the safety measures are there, if they do fall off or whatever, what can you say? You know what I mean?
I thought it was pretty fair the way it was done. There was nothing unfair about it or anything like that. It's just the elements. Like
it adds an extra element of difficulty to it as well. You could say that, you know what I mean? Like doing that in the rain, it adds a bit of a challenge to it. So.
And this was just like, you come off this rope and you just can't feel your hands, they're so cold because that rope, it's like climbing the drain pipe, I was saying. It's so cold and wet. But
sounds like a fun morning.
Yeah, so they changed that to, it's supposed to be like, partner 1 does rope climb, partner 2 does legless, partner 3 does rope climbs, then the 4th partner does unbroken rope climb, which I was supposed to do. I was kind of like, Jesus Christ, I'm never going to get back up that rope. But they just changed last minute to everyone just does 2 rope climbs each, and that's it, with the 400 run in between.
That was kind of a good middle ground for the box competition.
Definitely. He's actually got some advice off Kevin Claxon. I know he does need a shout out now. He's all over the place, but just before the event, he was like, just take your time between rope climbs. Don't worry about flying back up because it's tough, you know.
Go down, take a pause, go again.
Exactly.
So again, like a rope climb could be equated to a very heavy bar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You need to take a little bit of time between.
You know when you're ready to go back
you
up.
know when you're ready.
But he
the
just
last thing
little
you
bit of
want to do
experience he had there was just like, just take your time between rope climbs and and it worked.
Shout
for
out
sure.
to Kev.
Because he jump on that thing, it's just like, oh my god, I don't know if I can climb this rope, but no, brilliant workouts. The warm one, in particular, I thought was really well programmed.
Yes.
Because he had a gymnastic element too as well.
Was there a surprise lunge section in that then, or something?
No, we'll get to that with the elite teams.
Oh yes, that was the elite.
Yeah, that was a good workout as well. So overall, the box competition was brilliant. Actually, we'll go straight to the box leaderboard, box competition leaderboard, just to give the boys a shout out in the Flam Plan, RF Strength and Conditioning, who got on the podium.
Let's give the top 10 and we'll see.
Yeah, so the top 10, we'll go top 9, that's all they're showing on this anyway. Oh no, it's 10. So at 10th was Team Infected, the CrossFit Infected.
That's Toner's team. Shout out to Mark. I know that Mark and the guys do the box program, so they don't do anything extra. They do exactly what's programmed in for the classes. The trainers get together every day and they train, and it just goes to show, you don't have to jump massively from. If you have a decent box program, you don't have to go off it too much, maybe a little bit extra here and there, and you can still compete at a national level. So shout out to Leah and Mark and the other two guys.
Yeah. In 9th then, CrossFit MCI. In 8th, CrossFit Derry. So we actually had the pleasure of talking to them, really nice people, talking to them in the warm-up area. CrossFit Colchester sent the athlete program, who are also in the elites as well. So we get to that. They came in 7th.
Colchester, that'd be in England, I'd say.
Yeah, that's an English thing. Yeah, the athlete program's an English program.
English program.
CrossFit Green had a team in there as well.
Yeah.
CrossFit Shapesmiths from London had one in. They came in 5th. CrossFit or Independent 360, so P360, PT360 even had a team.
That's Kramer's.
Kramer, yeah.
Shout out to Kramer. Good job, buddy.
And then the podium, the Flan Plan, which included Aaron Claxton and Curtis Hunter, I believe.
Yes, and Janine
and Tracy. Yeah,
excellent
so
team.
4 of them were on that. Did really well.
That was that's more or less the Irish winners. Then,
yeah,
isn't
it is. That's the
because the two teams that came after this.
I'm pretty sure
second and first.
It was, I want to say, a Finnish team for some reason. I think they're from Finland. I'm looking at their names now. It's pretty Finnish looking. So, Finland and an English team, CrossFit XCE, as I say it, CrossFit X, got on the podium.
Was there a lot of foreign teams up there or whatever? Or
it's hard to tell, but there was. It's pretty international competition now. Yes. I think it always has been as well.
Yeah,
50, so especially this year, where they're kind of reaching out to that foreign market, especially for individuals. So that's your podium. Shout out to the boys.
Shout out to the Flam Plan, Rob's team.
Absolutely.
Again, they're the Irish champs of the Filthy 150, so well done, guys. Good work.
Now, so what we look at is the individual female leaderboard. Start off with when we're looking at the elites. So from 10 up, some of these names might jump out with you if you're listening. I know for me, I've heard some of the names that are kind of on the bottom side of it, but you obviously are going to know the podium. So in 10, Amelia Lepenin. I've heard that name once. I don't know from where. I think it might be regionals athlete.
Might be the weekend.
Even before that, I think. Alexis Tioli. In 9th, Kelsey Keel, who I've heard of before. Definitely
that's a familiar name.
Yeah, very impressive athlete.
Is that the girl that did the handstand walks? I don't know, she would have been closer to the top. There was a competition on HQ for a 400-meter handstand walk in as least breaks as possible.
I saw that.
And that one of them girls did it in
really?
four goes. She smashed. I was watching the ski erg and the handstand walk, and she absolutely annihilated.
Yeah, she's actually in part of CrossFit Invictus.
What's her name?
Kelsey Keel.
Kelsey Keel.
In 6th was Stephanie Chung, who's also in Invictus.
She was going back and forth over the weekend.
Yeah, she was actually on the podium for the first half of the competition, I'd say. She was in that qualifying spot.
Okay.
So it was between her and Andrea Solberg.
Yes.
And then just above her was Samantha Briggs.
Shout out to Sam, friend of the show.
Somebody, I know she had an injury going in. She was on the show with us last week. She was explaining. She got on pretty well given the circumstances.
Yeah.
And some of the workouts suited her better than the others.
Did she win the bike run?
Yeah, I think so. We'll actually check right now.
A good bit out in front.
I got to watch that one. It was really
impressive.
Really impressive to watch. Yeah, some of those athletes. She won Sisyphus.
Krennikov on that was unbelievable.
Yeah. She came third in the run.
Okay.
Check run.
Okay.
So above her, the girl who got the game spot from Norway, Andrea Solberg.
Is that the girl that did the handstand walks then?
Could have been, yeah.
Could have
We'll
been.
have to check
Could have
that.
been, yeah.
And then your podium was Emma Quaid.
Shout out to
We all know
Emma.
her. She had a fantastic competition.
Yeah.
Just above her then, second place at the games this year, Christian Holte from Norway as well. And then on top of it then, top of the podium, which everyone kind of thought was going to happen, Sarah Sigmund's daughter.
Shout out to Sarah.
I have to say, probably the most impressive athlete I've ever seen.
She's unreal.
Compete, yeah.
Unreal.
Just ridiculous. She snatched 95 kilo.
Jesus.
Which I've only done for,
And did she
for
miss
one.
100? She tried 100.
She was under it as well. She went for
away.
100. Yeah, she was well under it.
She's strong.
I feel like every male would have walked out of the arena if she had just
Good
the
luck to
insecurities.
that. What was the point spread then on second, third, second, and first?
Emma had 700 points at the end of it, and then Christian Holt had 812,
Right.
and Sarah Sigmund's daughter had 840.
Okay.
So it was kind of, you could tell Sarah was going to pull away with it.
Yeah, she started to pull away towards the back end of the weekend.
Something like the trek run suits Christian Holt more than it suits Sarah Sigmund's daughter. You know what I mean? Sarah is a real CrossFit athlete rather than the outdoors type. So
She suited the couplets, the triplets,
couplets,
the bar
triplets,
work, the
classic
gymnastics.
CrossFit, the separators, if you want to call them that.
She's
Really,
not
really
known
suit her.
for, we'll say endurance.
Yeah.
She would be known for a good all-rounder, obviously, and everything else. But the reason why she dominates the Open or wins the Open, that's 2 years in a row now,
Yeah.
is because she's so good at the classic couplets, triplets.
First athlete to win the
chipper
Open
style
twice in 1
workouts.
year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's never happened before.
Yes, yeah. Shout out to Sarah.
Yeah,
Wouldn't it be
brilliant.
great to get her on?
Yeah.
Hey, you never
you're
know,
watching,
man.
Sarah.
Yeah. Sarah, if you're watching this,
I know you
somebody
like-
tag her.
You like Ireland?
Somebody tag her and we'll hook you up with an old spot. We'll see if we can fit you in.
Yeah, I was impressed by the Irish crowd getting behind some of the athletes.
Yeah, man.
So like Emma Quaid got the biggest cheers out of everybody.
Yes.
Especially on the female side.
Deservedly.
But I think Sarah Sigmund's daughter just loved worldwide.
Yeah,
by everybody.
She's beloved. She's like, is it 2 million followers on the IG or
Jesus,
something mad like that?
Something mad.
And she's sponsored by Nike, but she's just, I think, an endearing quality about her. She's just so bloody happy all the time.
She
And
smiles. Through all the events, she
yeah,
smiles.
she's happy. She's not over analytical. She's just there to have fun.
Yeah.
And when she's having fun, then as we've seen the weekend, that she can do
Yeah.
it.
Something I saw. I can see why people like love her as like a person rather than an athlete. Obviously, a very impressive athlete, but just the time she gives to people that you never really see from most
I
athletes.
noticed that, at the end of every workout,
Yeah.
she was there and they said she stayed back then for ages.
She was there for
taking
an
pictures
hour,
with
I'd
the
say,
crowds and stuff. Yeah, that's
but-
an admirable quality.
Oh yeah,
man.
she won't get to, they have to bring her off the floor because she wants to take so many pictures with
good.
kids and stuff like that.
That's
I know.
nice to see. It's nice to see that people are still grounded, even then when they get to a level of an international star, which she is, sponsored by Nike and being who she is, that she still can take time and have a chat with the fans, take some pictures and give back to the fans, because that makes someone's weekend.
Exactly, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You can see all the pictures all over the place, people getting selfies with them and stuff like that, and that's really important.
It's the thing you can see from the outside. You're not just there to win; you're there to enjoy the experience. And she loved the Irish
and I
crowd.
think she said that as well, didn't she?
Yeah,
she
she
said,
did.
when I'm happy, then I'll compete at my best.
Yeah.
When
they announced the podium, when she came out, now a lot of athletes did it as well, but when she came out, she made sure she high-fived everybody that was on the floor. So she went around the whole crowd,
going around
like,
to everyone.
did a whole walk around the whole crowd. It took her 5 minutes to do in total. Like everyone was clapping. Every volunteer got a high five.
Brilliant.
Every judge, everyone on the podium, everyone who was like helping with announcing and everything, all got a high five, and then she got on the podium. So that's it's just little things like that.
Yeah.
I know not if every
victory
athlete did
lap.
that now, we'd be here for hours. But
Not everyone's going to get up on the podium. So.
yeah, I just thought that's you don't have to do that.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely.
So that is the female side of it.
Yes.
The males then, the big dog competition that we're all looking forward to. So from 10 up, we'll do the top 10, then we'll have a look at the Irish athletes that are also competing. 10 up, I thought that the males one was so close the whole weekend, and it was just going back and forth, and then we just saw it kind of separate at the top.
It was very, very close throughout. I think pretty much for all the workouts, wasn't it? One fella'd get X points and then the other fella, and it just really played out.
Even the point spread now, I'll talk about in a second, see. So at 10, Andre Hudu, who I never heard of, who's a very impressive athlete. I think I'll check where he's from. I feel like he's Danish.
I haven't heard of him.
Yeah, a Norwegian athlete.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, super impressive. You know what I mean? So. And then in 9th, Nick Matthew. 8, Jean Simone Roy, a very long name, hang on. Roy Lemaire, he's a French Canadian.
Sounds like a French Canadian.
Yeah. In 7th, everyone loves him, Sean Sweeney.
Ah, yeah.
He has his affiliate down as Sean Sweeney.
Did he hand out any pictures?
Yeah.
Did he?
He was throwing wristbands.
You should have gotten one.
Oh man, I wish.
Yeah,
but he did it like when he was leaving the arena. So
Right.
like if you were standing up where
Okay.
the athletes left, he'd get one. But he was throwing wristbands into the crowd.
Was he? Yeah.
Wearing his hat for workouts.
He knows how to work the crowd. Fair play,
He's
though.
so funny. Yeah.
He's a good dude.
So he was in 7th and 6th. Will Morad, who was 10th at the games this year.
Good athlete, strong dude.
In 5th, Lucas Esslinger.
Not a good one.
He's been at the games a few times now, not two, maybe 2-3 times. Lucas
Yes,
Esslinger's been
yeah.
there. 4th, Cedric Lepointe.
The point.
Lepointe.
I don't know.
Something like that.
I just made that up.
Yeah. Pretty sure another French Canadian.
Yeah, sounds like.
If you actually saw him now, he's one of the more recognisable athletes that hasn't been to the games yet. He got, I think he got 2 minor penalties that actually threw him out of the top 20 in the Open. And he found out he got one. I think we talked about that on the show before, but he got one, which bumped him out of it, and then he appealed it and got back in. So he got a game spot. And then when he was at the Filthy 150 on the second day, he got an email saying that he's out because another minor penalty.
Good. It's very kind of bittersweet, isn't it?
Yeah,
This reviewing. I loved seeing it, and I'm delighted the fact that they are going back and handle out penalties. But I do feel a little bit for the athletes. You know what I mean?
Some of them are a bit like there's some grey areas with some of the appeals that are going on, or some of the.
It's tough. I hope to God they have the best judges. I'd like to see the likes of Boz and Chuck Carswell and them sitting there and looking at the videos. That's who should be looking at. Because they need to be able to pause the things, freeze frame, see exactly is it locked out, is it below depth or whatever it is, and then give exact examples.
I suppose looking at from like the outside in, you're kind of like, why can't they just do a better job? But yeah, I suppose you have to think. I think they took the top 40 men. I know PD was asked for videos too.
PD got
some kind of penalty. Was it?
Some kind of a penalty.
Yeah.
We forgot to ask him yesterday. I'm sure it's minor, and I don't think it's going to affect his placing in Ireland. Emma got one as well.
Yeah.
So they're still dishing them out for the.
But I suppose they're taking from 40 athletes, and then they have to review 5 videos from 40 athletes, and that's just a lot of time, especially when they sacked half their staff last year in HQ. You know? So Cedric was in 4th. He was close to that game spot. He's trying to get in there. I'm sure he will eventually. He has 27 more sanctions in a year to get there. So. I'm going to keep an eye on him, actually.
We were talking about that with Briggs and the amount of sanctions there is now.
Yeah.
Did she say there was 38 or something?
I think there's 28.
28?
Yeah.
Okay, 28.
And
Even at that,
was the first one.
like that's more than 2 a month.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I'm pretty sure after Christmas, there's one every weekend for 5 weekends.
Is there, yeah?
Something like that. Like Dubai's in December, I think.
Yeah.
And after that, like when Christmas break is over, there's one to watch
every weekend.
I'm sure there's like 3 of them in America.
Good time to be a CrossFit fan.
Yeah.
It's a great time to be a fan because traditionally we had the Open, which wasn't, you can't view it obviously.
Yeah.
You can see some of the videos or whatever. And then we would have to wait till regionals, really. And you get your few weeks of regionals, and then it was the games.
Yeah.
So now we have more sport to watch than ever, which is brilliant.
It's funny, at first when regionals were gone, RIP regionals, that's what everyone says now, but when they were gone, everyone was so disappointed.
Yeah,
but you think about it,
absolutely
there couldn't be more opportunity to get in now.
It's an amazing time to be not only a spectator but an athlete as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if you think of how many people went to the games this year and how many people used to go. It used to be like, say, 40 males, 40 females. Now there's like 200-300, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is an amazing amount. I know they cut the masters and the teens, but the amount of individuals now and the fact that every country with a box has someone representing them, I think it's fantastic. Yeah, I love it. Absolutely love it.
So Cedric was in 4th. On the podium then was Tim Paulson, who had a really good competition. He won the first workout, the handstand walk ski one.
Smashed it.
Again, he's a very proven athlete. He's been at the games multiple times as well. Everyone's favourite, actually a crowd favourite of the weekend, Roman Krenikov.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
He's unbelievable, man.
I heard Armin Hammer say he's just lungs.
Yeah,
he's like 40% lungs.
Did you see him doing the breakdance?
Yeah,
that was class, wasn't it? He just started flipping.
I couldn't believe when he went on his head.
Stuff like that. He went on his head and then just went gonk like this. That was brilliant.
If you see him in real life, you just look at him going, like, he's an athlete. He can do anything, that guy,
He just has that bullet head on him. He's a real kind of a Russian look about him. You know what I mean?
Very
real
nice fella.
stoic, real kind of.
If you look at his last day, he got all first place finishes.
Yeah, that's insane.
The Trek run, he just demolished it. He done it in sub 10 minutes.
So his first couple of workouts, that's what really put him down, wasn't it? He got like a 17th or was it?
He got
20th?
a 15th in that decouplet, which was the bar muscle up.
The squat and the bar
Squat
muscle
one.
up.
And like that's not something that's out of his like wheelhouse or anything like that. I know he's like an aerobic capacity.
The other
like,
fellas were just so good at
but
it.
he put it down to being on a plane for so long, coming from Russia. He
Okay.
had jet lag, you know. So
I see. That's interesting.
he's like my first one's like in the snatch he came 20th. You know,
He's
I'm
not.
I'm pretty
he's
sure he
not
can
known
snatch
for
one
big
115.
lifting. That's a fact. He's not known for big. He's more known for his engine.
Yeah.
And for his ability to hurt and all that kind of business, but he's not the strongest athlete out in the field, as you would see with that. What did he snatch?
He snatched
115.
115. I think he has a
Okay,
bigger snatch than that registered, but I think he
The
just put
jet
down
lag,
to
mate.
like to get in the top 5 of that workout, you had to snatch at least 125, which is crazy.
Sam got 125,
Yeah,
didn't he?
Sam had the flu and he
Some
snatched
going.
125.
Yeah,
so I was
fair
like,
play
okay.
to him. Fair play to him.
Sam did really well. We'll talk about the Irish
They
athletes
actually
soon.
left Krennikov into Ireland, which was good. They left him out of his own country.
Michael D. Higgins not going to be stopping anyone coming in here.
Yeah. Fingers crossed now that they leave
Yeah.
him in. Whatever it is it Trump or the US immigration or
Yeah.
whoever's taking care of them bases, please leave Krennikov to the games.
He was definitely, and at one point he grabbed the microphone off the announcer and said, "Ireland, I love you." You know,
Did he? Yeah.
This guy has no English at all.
I don't know.
And the whole place went crazy for him.
Like Yoel Romero.
Exactly.
I love you, Ireland. I love you.
That's what he was like. Yeah. No, great competitor. You know, loves the crowd as well. So he was in second.
Seems
And then
like a
on
good
top
dude.
of the podium, no one saw him coming. Justin Medeiros.
Justin Medeiros.
So I did a bit of research on him because I never really heard of his name. He looked a bit familiar to me, but he's only 20 years old.
Yeah.
He's out of CrossFit Fort Vancouver. Who I can't remember the name of the coach, but they've had multiple. Pretty sure they won the CrossFit Games as a team.
Okay, so it's a good stable there.
Yeah,
They know how
very
to
very
coach
good. But
athletes.
he's out of Boise, Idaho, in the United States.
Right.
Still a college student and everything. Going on to these sanctions, yeah. So
Fair play.
he got off to such a good start. Obviously, he never finished outside the top 6 in any workout.
That's what it takes, is the consistency.
Except for the trek run, sorry.
Like if you look at Krennikov, wins, there's a 5 or 6 events.
Yeah.
But again, if you're not consistent, you can win. You can win 9 out of 10 events.
Yeah.
And then you can have a last place finish.
Exactly.
And all the wins don't mean anything. So CrossFit competition is about consistency, isn't it? And you could win no events and win the whole competition by a good stretch.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, a few seconds, a few thirds.
It's happened loads of times. I think the first time I saw it was Matt Fraser did Dubai. And Dubai are known for over-programming. You know? They programmed 15 events.
Specialist kind of events.
I think it was 2016, 15 events, and it's like BKG and Matt Fraser went to it, and Matt Fraser didn't win one workout.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
You know,
yeah.
he just placed like
just-
top
yeah,
3 every
that's
single
all
one.
you need to do is
And
just
he knew
hang
that
back.
going in. And
Yeah,
every
yeah.
workout, they're all chippers and stuff. There's barely any sprints, you know. So you don't have to be the strongest. You don't have to be the best at gymnastics. You don't have to be the best at aerobic capacity.
No.
You just need to be
You
decent
just have to be good at
across
everything.
all domains.
Good at everything. That's what the key is.
That's what CrossFit is at the heart of it. So that's your male top 10. So the last one ends elite teams. Actually, what we'll do is Irish athletes that were in the elite males. Can't forget about them.
Yes. Sam and Mick.
Go down a bit now. We had Sam Stewart and Mickey Smith. Let's go to Mickey's finishes. So Mickey got 20th overall. I know Mickey had up on Instagram, he was in for an MRI the morning of it,
Yeah.
which is not the ideal place to be. So obviously played a part in it. I'm pretty sure he said he got out of the car, got off the M50, straight into it.
Straight into the
onto the
workout.
floor, did the handstand walk workout.
Ouch.
I think he thought he had a bicep tear, turned out to be a labrum tear after an MRI, but he only found out that during the competition.
It's rough. Rough to go into a competition knowing that you're injured at that level. And again, when we talked to him a few weeks ago, he was hoping to do well at that because, obviously missing out on the national spot through the Open. But he went in anyway, he gave it a shot.
he did.
He got out, he put on some good performances.
He did really well.
Yeah.
And what's more impressive is
Shout out to
how
Mick.
he just increased his performance across the weekend. So he started off with a 26 finish in a handstand walk on because probably no warm up. He's not too confident in his shoulder, his
that's
bicep,
not
whatever it
gonna
was.
be,
So
that's not going to be great.
he just got on with it, which is that's the way he is. He'll do it anyway. He doesn't make up excuses. So
No, he's a champ, and champs, they don't make excuses. Like, they update people. If people want to know about injuries or issues they're having, so he updated someone, or he updated us all, but he didn't make an excuse about it.
Exactly, yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what true champions do.
I got to watch him then the last few events. Just tried to follow any Irish athletes I could around the place and to see how they were doing. You know,
Yeah.
got to see Sam a few times as well. But in Mickey's best one was the Trek run, which I thought it would be, to be honest.
Yeah, he's a good runner.
His engine is ridiculous.
I think he won the himself, and he obviously won the 400s at air competition, the IFC. He also won, I believe, the Apollo Cup. You know, the run.
Yeah, the run he did.
They won that as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
So obviously, Mick is a proven runner.
Oh, he is. Even for the size of him, it's usually you don't see guys that are up toward that weight class.
He's a big unit.
That are that good at running, but he's a legit athlete, so you can't thank him that. So his finishes got better, and then when he got the last workout, then I thought he'd do really well because there was the last workout was really good. They only stuck it in kind of last minute. It was like the heavy wall balls, light wall balls, heavy.
Oh yeah, the squared
and rooted.
Yeah,
I liked it. You know,
yeah, look good.
Completely thrown off people with the rep scheme as well. 981.
They're the square roots of each other. 3 times 3 is 9, and then 9 times 9 is 81.
Very good, yeah. And I started then with the 120 clean and jerk.
Jamie must be into mathematics.
Yeah, and Greek gods.
Yeah, Greek gods as well.
Or Bible stories or something. That's what he's thrown in here. Some of the best things actually about the competition were the names of the workouts.
Yeah, I like that. I'm going to do that now this year for the IFC. I never did it before.
It's like a Ben Bergeron type thing where you throw like a fight club.
It adds extra significance to it. Like if I said to you, right, we're going to do 21:59 of thrusters and pull-ups, you'd say, oh yeah, that's a tough workout. But if I say we're going to do Fran, then you'd be like, oh shit, we're just about to do Fran.
And then you have that, all these, what I love about CrossFit is all the phrases that come out of it.
Yes.
I have Fran cough.
Fran long. Exercise-induced asthma temporarily.
You're probably dying, but you're just like, I just did Fran, you know. But yeah, like Sisyphus, Gallon, the D couplet, which was the bar muscle up squat one, was
that's
actually
a good
named
workout.
After Darina, which I thought was cool as well.
That was a good workout. That's very similar to the Ultimate Warrior. I think is one of Ben Bergeron's ones. It's 60 kg thrusters and bar muscle ups, 21:59.
Okay.
Tough one.
What I liked about that is having to pick the barbell off the floor.
Put
it over your head and then squat. I'm pretty sure they couldn't drop it behind them either.
It's nice to see back squats in a workout as well.
It's a hard movement, you know. Some people just can't move a back squat quicker than others, you know. People can move snatches and at that way they can move snatches and clean jerks pretty easily at that way, but when it comes to something like that, no. So there, Mickey ended up in 20th place.
Sam, then poor Sam.
Sam had to pull out.
Was it the flu, we said?
Yeah, he wasn't well going into it. And then basically had to pull out. And I saw him, he did a good few events. The only events he missed.
Though. Yeah, he did a few good ones.
He only missed the last 2. You know, he only missed the Sisyphus one and the squared and rooted one.
Very impressive on the snatch. I think he hit 125.
Yeah. And
I believe he just gone under 130 as well. Just missed it. So shout out to Sam.
And then
he'll be coming on the podcast now.
Yeah, excited
after Christmas.
Hear about his open as well. You know.
Yeah. It'd be
brilliant open
interesting
against him and PD. So Sam was hit and miss with some of the workouts. The first one, I suppose, like you have to look at it from his point of view. Like he's just when you're sick all week and you're trying to do a sanctioned event.
What do you do? Like he gave it a shot. I suppose his mentality is, look, I've qualified for it. I may as well give it a go, even though I know that I'm not going to perform 100%.
Yeah.
Again, true champ mentality. I'll take a run at it anyway. It would have been very easy for him to pull out and say, he could have done a Yonikoski on it. I got food, boys, man. Shout out to Yonikoski.
Yeah, if you want to come on, bud.
I wouldn't mess. No, if you're sick, you're sick. You know, some people would decide, okay, I'm dying. There's no point at all. Sam obviously felt a little bit okay because he wouldn't have snatched 125 otherwise.
Snatched 125 to flew. You must be a good athlete.
So he had the mental toughness to push through on that and still perform well. But at the end of the day, when they're sliding, then you just have to pull the plug.
I think we noticed that when we were watching the Trek run, when he's coming in, you can nearly tell.
Right.
If you've ever seen Sam compete before, like he's very intense. Yes. And he goes for it. He kind of just goes for it. You know what I mean? He's a great athlete. Like,
you noticed the difference in his
demeanor. I just when he was running back in front, he just didn't look himself.
Okay.
I was like, you know, if that
obviously not, man. If you're going inside that, you know, even coming in and trying to do a little bit of regular training.
Yeah, it's just not the same.
Compete in front
you don't have the same energy
hundreds
levels,
of people, and you know what I mean. That style of workouts is very intense and very heavy and laboursome and stuff. So fair play to him.
I shout out to Sam because you know he gave it a go, and he's plenty more opportunities to hit sanctions. And I know he's willing to travel because he's been. I think he went to another one in Canada and stuff.
Yeah, he goes all over.
He did the French throwdown, did really well at that. So Won't worry about Sam there. He's obviously a very young athlete, a long way to go as well. So that's all we saw from Irish athletes in that. And like there's more just big names on the leaderboard that just weren't in the top 10. So you're looking at like Dan Bailey.
Dan
16.
Bailey, shout out to Dan. We're trying to get him on as well.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
He got a bigger roar from the crowd than any athlete.
Did he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Watching him do that, the 9, 15, 21 was amazing. We just put the foot to the floor. He absolutely sent it. And to come off and you get to see him doing that again, because he got to do that at the games.
Exactly, yeah.
You know what I mean? But through injury and age, I suppose, we haven't seen him in a couple of years.
Yeah, look, I think he had 3 surgeries.
Yeah,
you know?
something mental like
he
that.
got elbow surgery, quad surgery, and his knee.
It's a dangerous game, man. At the higher
his
level.
Shoulder as well.
Shoulder surgery.
So he had
as well.
labrum surgery. So
Yeah. When you're at that elite level, and you've been training for so many years, and CrossFit as a sport at that level, at the highest level, if you're training for 4 or 5 hours a day, it can be rough on the body.
Yeah.
And it does break you down and stuff like that. And sometimes I think the CrossFit athletes, they're some of the toughest athletes in the world. They're like fighters. Sometimes they're too tough for their own good.
Yeah.
And they can push through things and they can go on and on. Like Petey the other day said he had a pain in his knee, but he still went and he done a 101 weightlifting camp, you know, things like this. And it just happens, man. If you're too tough for your body, then your body will break down. That's why we always preach about recovery. And you know, if there's something there, just go get it sorted. Go to the physio. Go get it looked at. Back off. You don't have to keep pushing and pushing. Even if there's competitions coming up, no competition in the world is worth sacrificing your body for. You know, I know that most professional athletes do that anyway. They have that short window of time, but people can definitely be smarter about it with stuff like that.
Even if you just listen to when we PD on after the break, he's such an interesting take on like the mindset that goes into it as well. But like he's a guy that has to put up with injuries, but still came out on top just because he had a bit of patience.
Yep.
And he knew he had the ability.
He knew what he needed to do. He sat down with his coach Neil. Neil will have him on in January as well, and they formulated a plan. They worked around the injuries. Petey was very patient. I'm sure he's a thorough dude as well, because he'd be very thorough with his rehab and stuff, and he obviously
he has that engineering mindset as well, where he's very calculated, you know.
Yes.
So shout out to Petey. You see him after the break.
Yes.
Now, elite teams. So we'll just look at the podium, and then we'll look at anywhere. We had an Irish team, CrossFit chapter 2, an Irish team in there, but the podium anyway was the athlete program, which was Jamie Heaton.
Jamie was on that. Shout out to Jamie.
Yeah, teammates now.
It was nice to see again Irish athletes going into the elite side of things. I know that Jamie has been at the top for years, putting it down for years. He was the top of Ireland for a good few years as an individual. He just missed out. You know, it's a shame that they didn't have the national champions a few years ago, because he is a games caliber athlete. Yeah, Jamie is legitimately a games caliber athlete.
I think with this team,
he could easily perform well at the games. And he can beat any of the lads on any given day.
Yeah, top athlete. I just got confused there. There's actually 2 teams that were going like against each other the whole weekend: the athlete program and the program.
Okay.
So the program is Jamie Heaton. Yeah, they're 2 different ones.
Right.
Jamie was on the program with 2 Spanish athletes and another guy. 2 Spanish girls.
Big dude with the headband, one, and the kind of weird hair.
The team event to watch is mad, because like at the games when there's teams on, you can see Rich Froning and you see mayhem and stuff, and then you kind of know, because all the games athletes are spread out.
Yes.
But in like when it comes to sanctions, everyone looks the same.
Yeah.
Every team has a huge 6-foot guy, a small weightlifting kind of girl, a gymnast, you know, that
different
way. So
styles.
and you'd be looking at going, wait, I thought he was on that team. So like to watch is actually a bit confusing until it's called, you know. And obviously I didn't hear any announcements. I was just watching it live. So Jamie was on. Jamie was actually second on the podium with the program. The athlete program were on the podium in third, and then the winner was Romwad Meat Squad.
Romwad Meat Squad.
Yeah, who are unbelievable team.
That's a good name. Who was on that again? Can you remember?
There's a
few
guy.
games athletes, was there?
Brooke Haas, and the only ones I know anyway, and Dex Hopkins.
Okay.
Dex Hopkins is
Dex, that's a cool name.
Yeah,
man.
he's been on a team at the games a few times. You know, Misfit Athletics. He's with them.
Okay.
I think he went on a few of their teams with like Travis Williams and stuff like that. He used to be this guy. He's a big dude and he had a big beard and he was kind of known for that in CrossFit. And everyone was getting pictures of him and stuff like that. And I think he shaved his beard and cut his hair, so no one knows. I didn't know it was him until I read it on this.
Like Lucas Parker, he's known for a beard, isn't he?
And when he shaved, no one even knew who he was. That's the same with this guy, Dex.
Well, people have their trademarks. If you can't stand out with your performance, you should stand out with your look.
Yeah. And then we had Chapter 2, CrossFit Chapter 2.
Shout out to Chapter 2.
Amanda Cummins is on that.
Yeah, fair play to Amanda. Again, Masters athlete competing in an elite team sanctional. So fair play to Amanda. We said we'd have her on now in January as well. Yeah. We have about 100 people on.
Yeah, there was so many people.
Maybe February. Next year, we say 2020.
Sometime before the Open. All right. So on that team was Barry Fitzpatrick, Amanda Cummins, and Filippo Pesterieri. He's actually competes in Ireland. He trains in Chapter 2. He's a coach. I think he's a coach there too.
I think he didn't commit in the IFC, did he?
He probably did.
Maybe he did. I'm not sure.
He could have. He's an Irish athlete.
I'm sure he'd be down this year. Yeah. Anyway.
He was on that team, and Maddie Edwards, who's actually from the USA.
Right.
I think she trains there too.
Deadly.
So that was the podium on the team side of it. Raw Mob Meat Squad taking that some name.
Fair play. That's pretty much it then.
Yeah, that's it for the Filthy. Yeah.
Yeah. So great competition by all accounts. Fair play again to Dorina and Jamie and all the crew. Congratulations on a massive event like that. You know, you're really putting Irish CrossFit on the map. So as two fans of the sport, we really appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
And Shane then as a competitor up there, so shout out to the Filthy 150 again. Up after the break, we have our national champion, Mr. PD Savage. He'll be talking through everything from his injuries to his comeback and to his training now and his plans for the 2020 season. So we will see ye after the break. And today's guest, we have our national champ, Mr. PD Savage. PD, how are you doing, buddy? Welcome on the show. Thank you very much for coming on.
No problem.
Good stuff. First of all, as I said, I would like to say thank you for coming on the show. I'm sure you're very busy and all that kind of stuff, so we really appreciate it. We're big fans. I've been a big fan since you came on the scene a long time ago, so thank you very much. And also, congratulations on making it to the games.
Thank you very much. No, thanks for having me on. Obviously, all your guests have been listening to all the podcasts and things, and I think you've been doing a great job with the show. And again, thanks very much for the congratulations. I think it's still just sinking in that you get to go to the games now. So yeah, it's pretty surreal.
Excellent. No, I'm really happy for you, man. I was absolutely gutted last year that you had to step out. Especially considering you were doing so well, you got that excellent 10th place at regionals. That must have been a very challenging time last year.
Yeah, it was. Especially I didn't get like the elbow diagnosis until later in the year, and then I was just too close to try and make a comeback for the Open last year, and it would have been a bit too much too soon. So yeah, no, it definitely was. Whenever you come in from that high experience, and sure you ask anybody competing just in general, never mind and competing what was my biggest stage so far, after that to then take a step the whole way back, especially whenever the things changed and then the route to the games changed, and it would have been another opportunity to make it to the games then last year, but then that couldn't happen. So yeah, it was definitely tough to take, but I guess that makes this year just all the sweeter, I guess,
Yes, yeah, absolutely. You came back with a bang this year. I know that everyone that I know, including myself and all the rest of the country, was delighted to see you back on the leaderboard. What did you think of this year's Open? Were you stressed out? Obviously you were. Very stressful period of time. I know it was going back and forth a lot between yourself and Sam.
Yeah, no, it definitely was. It started off nice, the first couple of weeks were like not too stressful. You were doing the workouts maybe just twice, on a Friday and a Monday, and getting a bit of training in between. Everything's going okay, but then obviously it was very close, and then later in the weeks, I think everyone sort of sick in the open. You don't feel great, and probably stress plays a lot in that too. There's so much on the line.
Yes.
So then, as the weeks go on, I think stress levels just increased like a direct correlation. That's sort of happened. Yeah, so it was definitely a stressful end to do it anyway.
What was your favourite workout during the whole thing?
I think it was actually. I did enjoy 20.4, but I think actually from a personal point of view was maybe possibly 20.2, just because I had a disaster in the first time around, and
Right.
then with just a couple of things, and it was probably the most I've experienced it. I had a good chat with actually my sister, who's a sports psychologist, and it just my mentality completely changed, and for my physiology, I don't think I could have got a better score, unless I was a shorter athlete or had a higher pace and things. So I think that was probably my favourite, just because of the turnaround you had, in a couple of days, and it just really sort of showed me then, it was a nice reminder of how mental this game is. If you tell yourself you can't do something, or you tell yourself you're crap at double unders, if you keep tripping,
Yes.
you will, essentially. So I think that was actually not the most exciting workout, but just from a personal point of view, that was sort of the turning point then a wee bit for me,
Yeah. You said something very interesting there, and I haven't heard it from a CrossFit athlete before, especially not a national one. Your sister is a sports psychologist, is she?
Yeah, she
And
is.
has she played a part in your, we'll say, development as a CrossFitter over the last few years? When did you start sitting down and talking to her, and how has she helped you with your mental game?
But I suppose it probably started towards like regionals last year, when I started really working with her. Like before this, it's your family member, it's your sibling, you think it's just your retard sister, and then
You're not
you sort
allowed.
of realize
Hey,
she's quite good at her
you're not
job.
allowed to say retard anymore. You have to be careful. Be PC.
Sorry, excuse me. Well, you're what do you call? Well, anyway, say
Yeah.
it now.
Go
But
on.
but then as things sort of developed, and she sort of just sort of taking a bit more of a bigger part and more of an interest, and she does CrossFit herself, and she really enjoys it. So she understands me and understands the sport very well, and understands what it takes, and how the different, it's so variable compared to different other sports. So to have that knowledge, and then also to have her professional knowledge as well, is very rare.
That must be
Um,
an amazing tool to have in your toolbox, because again, a lot of people have the physical attributes, and they have the willingness to train, and they have great coaching and great program, but to nail that side of it as well, again, everything, especially in sports and stuff, half of it is a mental game. Would you agree?
yeah.
Would you agree with that?
No, 100%. I would agree. And it's not a magic potion either. Like, from anything I've done with her, it's been very simplistic. It brings things back to just a really simplicity. So it's not like I have this massive advantage over anyone.
Yes.
She has always told me, she just says, I'm just an innate competitor, and it's just you just either not to say you have it or you don't, but some people just are competitive and have that thing that makes them there.
Yes.
But to definitely to get the best out of your performance, sometimes it can make a big difference. And just for example, as I say in 20.2, it was like I kept tripping up. I felt like shit. I ended up getting like 3 more rounds or something the second time round. Like I think I tripped once in the whole time. The first time I tripped like 20 to 30 times, and it was just from reframing how you attack the workout. How you would like. So was it 24 double unders? Was what 10 seconds or however many double unders it was, and she just said to me, it was like think of all the workout you've done. You can, no matter what it is, you can do it for 10 seconds, and that just struck a chord to me, and I was like, yeah, I definitely can. So next time he came back round, there wasn't one trip, and that was just sort of like a mental breakthrough then.
Brilliant. You got an excellent score on that, so it obviously worked, and definitely has a big benefit having someone like that on your side. And you know what I mean. Just
Yeah, for sure.
like you said, you have to put in the train, you have to put in the work. But I think it's all the little smaller details like this. For anyone who's thinking about competing and stuff like that, is dialing in the mental game, I think, as well.
Yeah, massively, and it does come down then to of, you know, as you say, a lot of people have the potential, have the training, have everything, but it does come down to how you perform, and especially towards the end of the Open and things, and the pressure is on. You know, things are getting quite stressful, so yeah, you have to be able to perform on them days.
Yeah.
So it's being able to know how to get yourself and get that best performance out of yourself.
Yeah.
So, PD, you're obviously at a really high level in the sport right now, being a national champion and all that. What is your background, say, and how did you get into CrossFit in the first place?
I got into CrossFit in my last year in university, I think. I was always sort of in the gym and doing things. I played Gaelic football, played hurling. I stopped playing hurling sort of just after school because we were like a dual club and couldn't really keep up both. And it also became too much of a scary sport then too. You know, whenever you're running around the field with fully grown men hitting each other with sticks, like it's definitely it's one of the roughest sports, you know.
Yeah.
But I still do love it and love watching it. Then just continued on from that. Universities, standard enough gym work. Played for Queen's, and then sort of was a bit of a piss head to start at university, and then had to settle down and get a degree, so just hit the gym religiously. Watched a YouTube video, I think, of Jason Kleba doing wall balls or something. I remember thinking, God, like, this guy's a beast. And I can do that. And then until I went to the gym and done some wall balls, and then realised, he makes it look very easy. Then after that, just as I say, just started going to, I was in the University in Belfast and staying there, started going to RCFNI, and done a foundation there with Damien Regan at the time. I think we'd done like 3 sessions, and just in the fast track, just got started there, and, you know, it's fantastic. Yes, you know, addicted. Loved it. Started going to the university gym, trying to do power cleans and overhead squats, and never not being able to overhead squat the empty bar, and just kept coming back for more essentially.
Okay, brilliant. Yeah. So you mentioned there that you're in Queen's studying. What's your degree in then?
Civil engineering.
Okay, yeah. I think I thought that. I actually listened to a podcast with you on it recently, trying to do a bit of homework on you. I didn't know much about you, but another thing we actually want to ask you is, you're not big on the social media side of things. Is that kind of a conscious decision to not be into that sort of thing? Whereas you see some athletes, it's kind of a thing in CrossFit now where everything goes on social media. Do you kind of take a step back, especially around competition time?
Yeah, I suppose it is a bit of a taboo type subject, but there's just so much crap, I think, on social media, you know, and so much people putting up things and, you know, basically fitness for Instagram, you know, and I think it is a great tool and a great thing, but I just don't know if I found the route I want to put things out there on, you know. I think a lot of people force things down people's throat, or this is what you should be doing, this is what you should be taking, and, you know, I maybe don't agree with a lot of it kind of thing, but at the same time, it is such a great tool for, you know, keeping in contact, especially in the CrossFit scene. You know, you can promote yourself, you can, you know, your sponsors and things. So, but as for competition, this year, actually, I done it at regionals. Actually, just like I remember, I just logged out of Instagram, logged out of all social media, just to keep yourself grounded and, you know, not get caught up on anything. You know, as soon as one event's over, you move on to the next one type thing. So you just didn't want to get too caught up in it. And then in the Open this year, I think it was like after week 3, I was just like, you know, maybe not sleep as well, you're stressed, and it's just like, right, eliminate everything. And obviously there's a lot of messages coming through at one stage of some controversy that went on and things, and I was sort of getting very, very stuck into that. And then I was like, right, okay, I just need to log out. There's nothing I can do. It's completely out of my control. So I had to just get off it then, essentially. And I was like, right, I'm not talking about it anymore.
Yeah.
It's done. Let's move on. So as for social media, it's it is a great tool, and I probably will start using it a bit more again. But I guess this year, I kind of just really wanted to keep my head down, and this was really the goal. So I just kind of wanted to keep my head down until that, and get there.
Now,
Okay.
listen to me, fair play to you, buddy. You have everyone's respect for that. You know, it's easy to get caught up in the hype, especially when you're at the level you're at. So to not be boastful and all that kind of business is a kind of an admirable trait. So much respect, Petey. Fair play. As far as the injuries now, could you give us a little rundown on what you have faced in terms of the adversities of injuries over the last couple of years? Could you give us a little rundown on what exactly what the injuries were and how long they took to recover from?
Yeah. So I think it started in 2014. I had a sore left knee, and turns out that I had partially torn my meniscus. So I had a mastectomy and had it partially removed. Almost exactly 1 year later, I was doing squat cleans. It was like a week after we'd done like a weightlifting 101 training camp, which was brutal, absolutely brutal.
Yeah.
And almost a week later, I was in the squat clean. So I had that first mastectomy, and that was probably about 4 weeks or so to get back to doing things. So that surgery was about a week before Christmas, and I remember I did the Open that year. Again, probably not that competitively, but was able to do the Open then in February. So it was always the race to get fit for that. Then literally a year later, doing a squat clean, and then I felt a pop in my knee, and the meniscus had completely dislodged. So it was like stuck on the joint.
Ouch.
So I couldn't straighten my leg, and then it was like a week before Christmas, and the surgeon, he was actually heading off on holidays, as they do, for like 3 weeks around Christmas. Then he seen me walking, and he was like, all right, yeah, no, you can't, I can't leave you like Christmas like that because I couldn't straighten it. So I got in just before then and got the rest of the medial meniscus taken out. So there was no cartilage in my left knee.
Lovely.
So then again, very similar rehab protocol. It was actually quite difficult getting the range back on that. Trying to get full depth and get the full degree of motion back into your knee. It was actually quite sore. But since then, I wouldn't say I've had much issue. Probably the only problem is with that, you'll probably end up with a knee replacement down the line, but I could get hit by a bus tomorrow. So
Exactly. These things happen. I think by the time we need joint replacements, it will be a one-day operation. They'll get you in and out within a few hours, and we'll all be fantastic. That's what I'm hoping anyway. Fingers crossed.
I'm hoping you're right too.
Yeah, I think we're all right.
Get some stem cells or something.
Yeah, so we'll get some stem cells. I'm sure you'll be able to pop down to the local supermarket, to Tesco's, and get them by the time we need them. So hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
We'll all come together and see if we can get a deal.
Yeah, that's it. Like a kind of a national CrossFit deal or something like that. That would be good. Yeah, awesome. And listen, so the injuries now, how has that affected your training? Does it affect it on a day-to-day basis, or is it something that you don't even need to think about anymore because of the surgeries, or what's the situation there?
Well, sometimes, so like again, fast forward, and then I had shoulder labrum surgery, and then that was a fairly extensive rehab, and then fast forward again, I had the elbow surgery. Again, that was a fairly extensive rehab, just because in both of them you're put into a sling and a brace for so long. So you're sort of muscle atrophy, and you have to rebuild, and you'll be very patient with your time. So yeah, that was just probably all coming down from maybe poor movement mechanics, and I would say probably previous injuries, through Gaelic and things. You probably have these small tears, and I would have thrown yourself in anywhere in tackles and things like that. So there's definitely all them sort of small things, and unfortunately I think CrossFit highlights these. So at the minute, yeah, in day-to-day training, at the minute probably the elbow can affect you a wee bit. Sometimes it just flares up a wee bit, with like tendinitis and things. Just because, especially like say through the open there, the consecutive weeks you had like movements that you maybe wouldn't do so much in training. So like if you were doing like say that the last week you had muscle ups or whatever, and then doing that workout so many times, you wouldn't be doing that in training. So you sort of you can't really control that. So at least if you can control your training, then it's much easier to manage.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, no, they're able to manage okay.
Well, to considering that list of injuries that you just gave us, it's an amazing performance that you had this year. So fair play, buddy. That's to be dealing with all them issues. I know you went through your extensive rehab and all that kind of stuff, but to come out and perform the way you did, again, much respect and savage work. Literally.
Heard that one before.
So a pun that will never get old.
Yes. I love using it.
So, PD, leading into the next one, then it's kind of the same. We're looking at the same thing in that. What did the comeback look like for you? Like you went from being in a hospital bed last year to being the national champion of Ireland on the way to the CrossFit Games. What do you think mentally, physically separates you from other athletes that get injured?
That's a good question, actually. I don't really know. I suppose it's just. I think it's just I want to really try and meet your potential. Whenever the goalposts were changed, to try and get to the games, I was like, well, I think I can do that. I think I'm capable of doing that. So it was like, I want to be able to do it. And that was just a target. I think you just have to set a realistic target, give yourself enough time, and just keep working towards that. And it really is. It just comes down to discipline too. Coming in and doing rehab, it isn't really fun. You just have to put yourself in that bad situation. So while that's driving to the gym just to go and do your rehab, then that's what has to be done. So it's just putting yourself in that situation to do that, and try and get some sort of enjoyment out of your training. And to be honest, it's probably my coach he's always been very good at keeping you moving, through these injuries and things. He always thinks outside of the box, and might progress you maybe a bit forward before other people would, because other people might be a bit afraid, but he also knows when to hold you back. So I think that's played a big part in it. His ability to keep you moving and thinking outside the box, and doing all these different exercises. So thinking of, right, this is an opportunity to work on different things. I think he's been very good at that. And to be fair, if he didn't have that input, it might not have been as easy.
Yeah, I bet. So you went through your rehab and whatnot. And when did you kind of return to, say, full training volume, we'll call it?
Well, I was training a good bit all year, but mainly doing strength and strict gymnastics type things at the start of the year. Just trying to get that left side stronger again. And it was funny. It was a big turning point during the year. I hadn't been doing any like lifting or bench press or anything. I was doing a lot of like gymnastics and holds and everything. And next thing, it was like went off program one day, and it was like a holiday. And then I bench press like 150, and I was like, I've never bench pressed 150 in my life.
Nice.
And I was like, all right, yeah. I was like, all right, he must be doing here.
Yeah. You didn't lose any benching strength anyway.
Yeah, no, I was a lifetime PB, maybe one time before.
Nice.
Without really doing, I wasn't doing any bench press. It was just all the strict gymnastics, the whole, and things like that. Through film training, then I probably about a month out of the open, so I still had avoiding snatching and handstand walking, just because of the aggressiveness, because of the elbow, it has a bit of a knock-on effect on my wrist, so it'd be quite aggressive then on that side. So about 2 months after the open, I had to get out a lifting sort of template and start from then. Started progressing handstand walking. So probably about 2 months out from the open, I was back to full movement and training. In preparation for that.
And what would your standard training day look like now, PD? I know. Are you working a full-time then job or?
Yeah, so actually I work for my dad. He's with a structural civil engineering company.
Okay.
So there is a bit of leeway, but I guess it works both ways. So it does.
Yeah.
You can good and the bad. But yeah, so a typical training day, pick up the open. I would be training Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, with active recovery on the Thursday.
Okay.
On the Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday would have been double training days. So that would have been, getting into the gym 6:30, 7 o'clock. I was actually lucky. There's a gym that's opened up just beside me. It's just like a code the door. You go and use it, and that's only opened up this year. So that's been a big help.
Oh, very good.
Because I travel to Portadown with 45 minutes from me, across maybe 20 years. So that cuts out a bit of journey time. So yeah, that would have been first thing in the morning, doing like a 90-minute session maybe strength, could have been a bit of a aerobic work, doing something anyway, maybe a bit of lifting and things. And then in the evening time, earlier on, it would have been like, arms, Metcon, some movement work, just rehab type stuff as well, So that would be Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and then on Saturday, Sunday, I would go down to 80-20 and train there on morning times.
Very good, very good. So you're basically training probably 5 days a week with maybe some active recovery days then also.
Yeah.
And what are you swimming much, PD? I haven't seen you in the pool, obviously, but do you get much swimming work in?
Yeah, you can imagine. Like I'm probably weighing about 100 kilos, right?
Yeah.
I don't just glide through the water,
I can imagine. Yeah, I can imagine. So are you getting pools? Do you do pool sessions at the moment, or how is your swimming? Are you a good swimmer?
Very average. It's something I'm really going to look into now. And hopefully try and get a bit.
I remember up in the remember the Irish throwdown.
Yeah.
Do you remember we had to swim up in them workouts? I swam like a stone up there, and I think you were the same.
Yeah. I think you're right. Improved slightly.
Okay,
but
good.
Not a lot. Again, it's something that I haven't really had to do for competition or anything.
Okay.
Bar that one, that was ahead of the time.
Yeah.
And for the opening things, it wasn't going to come up, so there's no focus on that at all.
Yeah.
So now, definitely going to try and dial back. I'm never ever going to be a great swimmer, but I can be better. So I'll definitely, hopefully, improve that.
Ask Neil to get you some 80-20 armbands.
Or a paddleboard.
Yeah, might need it.
Yeah, big 80-20 paddleboard. It looks like it's either swimming or paddleboarding at the games most years, isn't it? The Australians always kind of win it as well. So hopefully the Irish can catch an Australian. That'd be nice to see. Matt McLeod or something like that.
Did you want to ask about nutrition, Shane?
Yeah. So, PD, what does your nutrition look like day to day, and how does it play into your recovery as well?
Day to day, so it has changed. Like over the years, you've always tried different things. What probably changed more this year was actually it was Nate. Yes, and he was like trying to enter the path. Purely from a recovery standpoint, and the research on how it helps inflammation and age recovery. So I've been getting that a go now for probably 5 months, maybe.
Right.
I'm not exactly sure how long, but a long enough time to be 6 months. And so that's basically, when you eat between certain windows. So I would eat between 1 o'clock and 9 p.m. And then not eat outside that. And I have been trying it because I think a lot of people, if you're training lots and you're trying to eat lots of food and doing different things, I actually never felt hungry. I got to that stage. So whenever I started doing intermittent fasting again, I was actually feeling hunger and feeling as if your body was working right again. So I think that has helped a lot for me. And then in that window, it's just, whatever you're prescribed macro that you're trying to hit roughly. So I did significantly increase carb intake, which I probably hadn't done before. Like whenever I was heavily training for double days, it was up to like 600 grams of carbs, which was like tough to get in. So that just involves a lot of shakes and things like that. But yeah, no, it did work, as I say. But right now I'm sort of just, a bit more loose at the minute, and sort of just eating intuitively or whatever. But yeah, I'll sort of try and dial that back in now when I try to sort of ramp training up again. In that eating window, like it's just going to be good foods, sweet potato, rice. I'm lucky to have a sponsor from Also Lean who provide me with like a meat pack every 2 weeks, which is great. And I do like being able to cook myself your own food. You can just manage it, what you want and things. So I'm just lucky that way.
Brilliant. It sounds like the intermittent fasting worked for you very well then during the Open. Will you dial that in again now when it comes into the next season? And what's your plans for the 2020 season? Have you any sanctionals marked out? Obviously, you're going to be going to the games in August. I'm hoping to see you down here now in July as well, fingers crossed. But what else have you got planned as far as sanctionals are coming up?
Do you know what? I actually don't have a plan yet. I'm actually going to meet with Neil this weekend, actually, after training. I'm down in 820 and have a chat with him. I'm going to sort of try and lay out the year. Dial in a couple of things, a couple of events like weddings and like a couple of stag do's where I'm getting nervous about already. I'll have to sort of pencil in. So we'll sort of get them all like put in the timetable and sort of schedule in that around training too. I'm sort of going to sit down and plan out the year. I haven't actually earmarked any sanctionals, but I definitely will do maybe one or two or something. And yes, of course, I'd definitely love to be down in Waterford. It's sort of tough to sit back and watch everyone do it because obviously everyone has CrossFit down there and watching it. It's such a good event. So a bit like Filthy actually. Just it would have been great to have the Irish crowd and things like that. So I would have. I'll definitely love to do that next year.
Yes, 100%, buddy. Now the champ is coming down to the IFC, lads. You brought up something there. You said about the Filthy 150. I know I talked to you before it. Could you give us a little? You were noticeably absent there. Again, a lot of people were looking to see you on the floor. What was your decision behind not taking part in the Filthy this year?
It was just because I think, as I said, during the Open there, the consecutive weeks of the exercise you had to do, it was like the dumbbell thrusters, it was like a real aggressive, like a position for your elbow to be in, and then the handstand walks, and then the heavy jerks the following week, and then the muscle ups the following week. So it was just the consecutive movements, and then my elbow would pretty much flared up, and it was pretty sore. But during the workouts, adrenaline and everything was totally fine. And I was just a bit beat up after that then. And I sort of just thought then, I was like, right, okay, look, I've punched my ticket. Let's just sort of get healthy again. And instead of just putting yourself through more, like your body through more stress for a couple of days.
Yeah.
So that was really where that was at. Funny, whenever I was talking to Sam Stewart at the Filthy, and he ended up feeling like he was sick. So I was like, God, it's obviously I'm sure he had a stressful Open too. So he's obviously just feeling the effects and a bit run down. So that was the decision behind that.
I think it was a smart move. I think considering what you went through over the 5 weeks, both of you being in contention with the top spot, you could have probably gone and you probably could have performed well. But at that stage, you had the spot locked up, and it was so close to the end of the Open as well. I would say that you definitely made the right decision, deciding not to go. So fair play on that.
Oh, cheers.
Yeah. Now, Shane. Sorry. We put up a few questions on Instagram there earlier. So we have a few questions from your doting fans. So Shane is going to read them out now, Petey, and we'll see what kind of answers we can come up with. How's that sound?
right, so
Sounds
Petey,
good.
they're real, just 5 real quick ones before we let you go. So the first one is, any advice for people who want to compete in CrossFit? What advice would you give them?
If you want to compete, then probably, you need to sort of decide, what level you want to compete at and be happy with that. I think, obviously at top level now it is getting ridiculous. You need a coach, you need this, you need that, you need your diet, you have to be everything dialed in. So I think you would need to, set out targets and set out goals and then, try and achieve it well. But by all means, always challenge yourself. I think if you want to get into really now at RX level, like RX competitions, you probably need to be doing some sort of specific program or individual program or comp program. Your box one doesn't really cut. But then it's just, are you willing then to sacrifice, doing that training stuff by yourself as opposed to doing your classes? So it's a sort of, it's a risk reward type thing. What do you want to do essentially? But yeah, so I think definitely following some sort of, if it is competition you want to get into, following a good structured competition style program. Yeah,
Okay.
I think.
Brilliant. So, second one is, how many hours of sleep do you get per night?
This is one that could definitely be improved. I'm trying to improve it. So probably sometimes it could be quite bad, like 5 hours, and other times it could be quite good, up to like 8 hours. But yeah, it does seem to vary. I'm not a very consistent with that, and yeah, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out. I have started taking like CBD oil and stuff. I was lucky the guys from It's a Challenge State, they had sent me over some, and I have been taking that, and so I'm trying to do all different things to help improve that.
Okay.
Have you heard of the Whoop strap, Petey?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah, I'm using it now at the moment, probably the last 3 weeks, and it has drastically improved my sleep. It doesn't obviously make you sleep better in terms of like CBD or whatnot, but it's keeping me a lot more accountable. So obviously it's strapped onto you all the time, and it gives you metrics then on your deep sleep, how many hours you slept. It also suggests, when you need to get to bed, when you need to get up, if you want to perform the next day or if you want to peak the next day. So I would definitely recommend looking into that, bud.
Yeah, maybe it will. Yeah, it's definitely another thing we need to look at.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, if Whoop is watching this, make sure you give us
Yeah,
a sponsorship.
shout out the Whoop, lads. Shout out the Whoop.
That sounded like we just done an ad for it.
Yeah, it did. Right,
Maybe in the future. Okay, Petey, next one then is, are you really 115 kilo? That's pretty heavy.
Well, I don't think I've ever weighed 115 kilo bar with a weight vest, potentially. But yeah, no, I do. I can't seem to fluctuate in weight a wee bit. So I think generally it's in around 100 kilos.
100 kilos.
That's big enough for a CrossFit.
That's 220 pounds.
There might have to be it is. There might have to be a heavyweight division in CrossFit.
Yeah.
Dominate that.
That would be good. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Next one is, are you fitter than Kevin Claxton? Don't even know. Does this even answer?
That's a tough call, man.
It is, isn't it? There's not many people can answer yes to that.
Well, yeah, no.
Shout out to Kev.
Yeah, fair play to Kev. He's seen him in the summertime, and he had all the way to Italy. He let himself go a wee bit, and seen him recently, and now he's getting himself back in fighting shape. So
He is, yeah.
He didn't look bad at the filthy, though.
He looked good.
He does have the shirt off. He has the shirt off at all times,
He's working hard, so fair play to him.
Yeah. Last one, Petey, is, who's your favourite judge to have on the competition floor?
I wonder who asked that question.
Oh, I wonder who asked that. God, it would be the one and only Elaine Ennis.
Hey, shout out to Elaine.
Probably the most supporting judge you'd ever get. And she's also just been extremely supportive of my journey as well. So she's always been so nice and, sending you positive messages and things. So I've always appreciated that from her.
Yeah, she's a good girl, Elaine. Good girl.
Yeah.
Petey, that's it, buddy. So I'd like to thank you for coming on today. But before we wrap it up, would you like to give a shout out to anyone? I know that anyone that reaches a high success level in any kind of sport, it's not just an individual thing. You know, you're, like you said about your sister and stuff like that. There's other people behind the curtain helping you out. So would you like to give a shout out to anyone before we wrap it up, bro?
Yeah, like obviously, probably first of all is Coach Neil. He's been great. You know, as I say, through the injuries, keeping you on track and always come up with new ideas, and your training and how to keep things fresh. And again, I say without that, I don't think it would ever come back as strong. So yeah, definitely a big shout out to him. And obviously through this year's Open as well, and previous competitions, my sister's been a great help, Jennifer. So that's been big. Then obviously just like your family and friends and that sort of work situation, like the two lads in Dublin, like Rob and Owen, they've always been very supportive. They've obviously seen you. I've trained with them, been to regional teams a couple of times, and they've seen you train over the years, and they're just always saying, "Oh, you're a freak, you can do this," and you don't always need to hear that, but it's nice to hear getting the reassurance from people whenever especially when you've been out for a while. It does help. So them lads have been great. And I think just always the sponsors as well. Like as you said, I'm maybe not that active in social media. Probably need to get better at that. So I'm not really doing much for them. So likes of like Ollie Clothing and the Go So Lean guys. Wage UK has been great. So I have and World Challenge getting that as well. The guys use one CBD oil, so trying to get them through gains and things. So yeah, no, that's pretty much it. And no, thanks to you for having me on and stuff.
You're welcome, buddy. You're very welcome. As I said, we're big fans. I'm delighted to have you as our national champion, and we're all going to be watching you in the future season and also cheering for you at the games. So appreciate you coming on, Petey, and I'll talk to you soon, brother.
All right, thanks very much, guys.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks,
buddy. And that's a wrap for episode 8 of the Irish Fitness Podcast. Next week, we're going to have on Michael Welch, I believe, our world champion, Masters world champion. So shout out to Michael. So until then, guys, we will see you all next week.